Hey everyone, this is Matt with Sanctified Survival, and today we are boiling chicken bones. Now, why are we boiling chicken bones? Instead of, after eating your chicken, instead of just throwing the bones away, because we can't give them to our dogs, right? Because, the bones will splinter after you cook them. Instead of just throwing those bones away, one thing we can do is we can actually boil those bones, right? And that'll pretty much pull off any excess meat or cartilage. You can't eat the cartilage, it is good for you. But we boil our chicken bones, and after they're boiled, we run cool water over them, we strain them, cool them off, just pull that excess meat and excess cartilage off, and we can put it in our oven, and we bake about 350 degrees, 15-20 minutes. And what that does is it really dries those bones out, right? And then afterwards you can take those and put them in a blender and make powder, and that powder is bone meal, which is great for plants. And we do have some frozen bones here, and literally, just go ahead and throw it in there. Now, it does take some time to kind of boil all this because it is quite a bit. We do have a lot of chicken here. We'll go ahead and just cover that up. We'll let it boil and stay tuned. We like to keep it boiling for like 15-20 minutes at a rolling boil. So like this here is a rolling boil. Keep this going for like 15-20 minutes. All right, so we just went ahead and dumped this chicken. As you can see, it's still steaming. We'll just run some cold water over it. You don't have to use a filter, your water filter, you don't have to use that for this. And just kind of cool this chicken off, right? And as you can see, the meat literally just falls off the bone. So I'm doing this with one hand, so obviously I'll complete this. It's like, here's a big piece here. Comes right off, no problem. Another big piece, slides right off. So I'm gonna go ahead and process this, and then we'll go ahead and lay this on our baking tray, and then we'll show you that, and we'll get these baked in the oven. Alright guys, and as you can see, we have all of our chicken deboned here. There's a little tiny bit of meat on them, but it'll be fine. You don't have to get it perfect. Like there's little tiny pieces on there, it's just cartilage, but yeah, it'll be fine. You just get most of it off, It's all good. Our oven is at 350, and we have what I like to call our bone pan. This thing has been through the ringer, obviously. You don't need nothing fancy for this. Just go ahead and throw your bones on the pan, and we will get this loaded into the oven. As you can see, our tray is pretty packed full. No worries. Like I said, 15-20 minutes at 350 degrees. We'll throw these in for 20 minutes. We'll be back in 20. Alright guys, and looks like our bones are done, and you will know when they're done because they will be very white for the most part, and then some of them will actually be burned. No worries. Because this was so mini, this little pan, I did go ahead and actually bake them at 350 for 25 minutes, and the last 5 minutes I put them on broil high heat. Just to make sure that they're nice and dry, and they are definitely nice and dry. And you can actually see here how white the bones actually are. That's how you'll kind of know once they're completely dried out and dehydrated. And let's go ahead and blend them up. I want you guys to have a good view of this. These are still kind of warm. They're not super hot. Even when you take them out of the oven, they're not going to be super hot. We can just go ahead and throw these in here. Make sure that your blender is strong enough to grind these up. We'll be fine. We have a Ninja here, but just make sure that your blender is strong enough. And also, once they're done, the little pieces of meat that we had on there, let me make sure you can see this. It'll just dehydrate, right? Basically be like fine powder. So don't worry about little pieces of meat that are on there, or cartilage, whatever. We don't want to overcrowd this too much, so I think this is a good amount here. Go ahead and put our blade on, and let's get to blending. immediately one of the first things you notice is it goes to like a brownish powder. You can dump this out, or you can put more bones in here, and yeah, just keep up with this process until yeah, all this stuff is powdered up. And one thing about this stuff when it comes to adding it to water, it adds a lot of phosphorus to the plant, right? Phosphorus is really good for roots and root vegetables. So potatoes, carrots, beets, stuff like that. And you want to add between 2 to 4 tablespoons per gallon of water, depending on how far along your plants are. You don't want to oversaturate them with bone meal. If you find that it is it's not, you know, powdery enough, you know, this is pretty fine, so this will work. But you can always get a different blade. This blade here works fine. Just the basic Ninja blender. I think it's like 800 watts or 1000 watts, something like that. Yeah, see, it's kind of forming there. There's a little bit of moisture in here, so we'll probably go ahead and bake that just to complete the drying process. If you do have to throw it back in the oven, make sure that you kind of tap it down with something. I'm just using a spoon here. This has already been kind of tapped down. Just wanted to show you guys the method that I use. And we'll go ahead and throw it in the oven for an additional 5 minutes on high broil. And you'll notice now it's much more of like a golden instead of that saturated brown. It's got that nice golden hue to it, and this is what you want. And you can notice also when you go ahead and squeeze it, it doesn't really retain that form anymore. It is powder, so it will, you know, it will try to, but you'll notice it'll crumble in your hands. That's how you know it's good to go. If you guys like content like this, more so like day in the life kind of stuff, just go and let us know down in the comments below. And if you're not already, please go ahead and give us a follow, subscribe, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And if you are not already, please consider subscribing to our Patreon, where we post our exclusive content. And also take a look at our website, sanctifiedsurvival.com, where we are in the process of creating a members only section for certain members. If you're on Patreon, you are automatically granted into the members only section of our website. Thank you so much for your time. God bless. Stay sanctified.